Okay, you and me, we're gonna go through the things that I put on my tool belt every single day at work. Where I place them and why, also what I carry in general. Again, this is part of my little mini-series on being a construction worker as a small, not muscular woman, partially to encourage others like me in size, gender, whatever, that you can pursue a career like this. You can work this kind of job. I do it. You can do it. As we've seen in my last video, this is my tool belt. It is apron style. You have this metal on metal clip that comes together at the back, and all of these pockets hang out in the front. We have two big pockets on either side, one small pocket in the middle, and then two sort of thin, shim-sized pockets by each metal loop. And there are no more pockets aside from that. Now, before I actually bought this belt, I went and got something else that I wear alongside my tool belt, and that is this little sort of mini clip-on pouch. This is a Husky brand little add-on pouch. Now, it has a little snap button on the back, and this is made with the intention to add on to a tool belt. The idea is that you would have a work belt like this, and you would clip it on like that. You would snap it onto the back, and it would hang out like that. So if I were to wear this the way that it was intended to be worn, let's see here. I would snap that pouch on, and I would clip my work belt around at the front, and it would sort of sit on me like that with all of the main pockets in the front. The problem now is that this pouch is sitting way at the back, and I kind of have to reach backwards to get at it. Because my waistline is so small, and people who are like me, who get work belts, because we are small, because we have small built hips, only the pockets that are at the front and the immediate sort of front sides are going to be easily accessible by our hands. So having things in the back like this is not really that great. I know lots of people will work with a million pockets around the entire front, sides, and back, and it doesn't matter to them reaching behind in a back pocket or whatever. If you like doing that, that's totally cool, but for me, I don't like doing that for two reasons. One, I find it uncomfortable, and two, even if I did do that, there's absolutely no room for me to put on any extra add-on pockets. There is just no additional room. I have room for this one clip-on pocket, and then I immediately hit the buckle. And unless I wanted to put a clip on over the buckle, which is not really that great, I have really nothing more to add to this belt. So here's what I do instead. Instead of using this the way that it is sort of typically meant to be used by clipping it onto the belt, I sort of wear my tool belt as I normally would, but I clip this add-on pouch to my pants belt. So I put it right here, sort of where my left jeans pocket is, and I just clip it on like that, and it hangs there. After that, I'll then put on my regular tool belt, and when I turn it around, I'll adjust so that this add-on pouch sits right in between the very front pouch and the very side pouch on my left side. So if I wanted to, I could buy two of these and have one sitting in between these two pouches and one sitting in between these two pouches, and I now have 5 accessible pouches at the front. Now, these pouches do sit a little bit lower, but they fit perfectly in sort of this little split between the front and the side. That's the way I've always worn it. It works fantastic for me. I put it on my left side because I'm left-handed, but you can do whatever you want. As for what I carry in this little mini pouch, it doesn't hold very much. You can see that it mostly has room for pens. So I have 2 multi-tool pens in these top slots, and then there is one pen holder here that is currently unused, and then I have just a standard sort of Sharpie marker and the other pen holder. This is a Milwaukee branded marker. You could use any marker, any bright black marker that is easy to see. That'll work great. And then you have this plate here, and that's for easy clip-ons, which are found on most power tools, most handheld power tools, and measuring tapes. So that just goes right on the clip, and it's really sturdy. I've never had it come off, and it'll just sit right on there. It's a bit hefty when you're putting something like a measuring tape on there. I definitely wouldn't put a power tool on this because it just sags the belt so much. But I've had it where I've decided not to wear my regular pouch belt, and I'll just wear this, and I'll clip my measuring tape on the front of it, and it's great. And it's easy access right at the front. And then we have this larger pouch in the center here, and I keep my multi-tool in that pouch. It's just a small sort of utility knife multi-tool. It says Bay of Island, New Zealand on it. It was a gift from my dad, and it just has everything I'm ever gonna need in terms of small tools. So screwdrivers, knives, there's a tiny saw blade in here as well. And, you know, stuff that I'm never gonna use on the worksite, like a bottle, like a cork opener, corkscrew, sorry, and like nail file, and so, like all your typical sort of Swiss Army knife tools. I use the knife on this tool a lot. It's very, I just got it sharpened, and it works great. I prefer working with this rather than working with an X-Acto knife. I just think this is great. And again, that just fits right in between these two pockets on my front and left, so it's right on top of my left thigh. Next thing is measuring tape. This is a Milwaukee 25-foot wide blade measuring tape. It's just got the little stopper on top. Obviously, it extends to 25 feet, measuring in imperial. Has the clip on the back, as I showed before, and that just sits in my front pocket here. It's basically perfect size. It just falls in there, and it's just good for easy access. It's right at the front, so I can grab it and put it away, and it just sits right on the front. If we go to my left side large pouch, this pouch is quite flat, and if I'm not wearing my gloves, I just shove them into the left side pouch, and they just sit in right there, just so I can grab them if I need them for anything. Nothing else really sits in the left side pouch. I just don't have many things on me that I need to put in all of my pockets, so it's mostly just a little home for my gloves. Every so often, I'll put like a cloth in there, maybe some Kleenex, but not much goes in this pocket. And as for the metal loop on my left side, in that goes my hammer. This hammer has been well worn. You can see all of the scuff marks. It's actually started rusting. And this is a Husky branded 16-ounce hammer. The head is flat. Some of them, like my dad's, have a waffle pattern on the head of the hammer. I'm not really a big fan of that. I like the smooth head. Obviously, you have one end to hit and drive in nails, and you have the other end to pry. And on the top here, you have this little nail groove so that you can take a nail. This is a screw, but you can take a nail and put it inside that groove, and there's a little magnet right there that holds it in place so that you could have this and you could drive it into a wall or whatever. While this is sort of like a cool thing that's advertised, I find it's mostly a gimmick. I've never once actually used it for that purpose. I've never even had anything resting on the magnet just, you know, to have. I think it's much easier to keep nails in a pocket instead of resting them on the magnet. I think this is kind of a dumb design, but it came with the hammer. I got the hammer to hit things and to pry things. I didn't get it for the magnet that just came with. 16 ounce is a good weight for a hammer, especially if you're small like me. You don't want to get a huge, heavy framing hammer if you look like me, just because it's a lot to swing. This is nice and light, but it's hard hitting. It's got a tough and sort of decently heavy head, but a light handle. So I really like it, and that just goes right in this loop here. And I mentioned before how these pockets have little tiny shim, sort of really thin pockets. And in my left side pocket, I put a carpenter's pencil. This one's from Home Depot. Just a flat pencil that I just sharpened with a knife. So I'll just slide that in there. And a small, very small X-Acto blade. I'm not really a fan of using large X-Acto blades just because I have small hands. I'm a small person. Everything needs to be me-sized. But this is just your standard X-Acto knife. It's kind of dirty because I've been cutting tar paper with it. But yeah, retractable. And I just put that in the same pocket. So they just hang out beside each other. If I haven't been using them for a long time, I'll actually take them both out and I will swap them into the large pocket of the Husky add-on, and we'll just put it right in there. And so everything that's sort of a pen, pencil, or knife, small adjacent thing, goes into this small pouch. And then continuing over to my right side, I have sort of a junk pocket. This pocket is a little bit wider because it's worn down a little bit more, but basically in my right side pocket, my large pocket, is just a collection of a bunch of miscellaneous screws and nails. It's just sort of a junk pocket. There are instances where you just need to have a screw, and it doesn't matter what size it is. I'll just reach into this pocket, grab it, drive it in, and that's it. So it's just nice to have some spare parts just in this pocket. You never know when you might need them. When I'm not wearing my safety glasses, I kind of struggle with where to put them. I used to actually put it in the spare pen loop in the Husky add-on. I used to put it in right there, but the problem was that it would constantly fall out, and so then I decided to switch it and put it in the little plate where I would clip on the measuring tape, and then it started to fall off of there as well, just because it was worn. Lately, I've been putting it inside the slim pocket, so what I'll do is I'll fold out one arm of the glasses, put the arm inside the pocket, while the rest of the glasses go underneath this ring, this metal ring, and that has stayed in there. And they don't fall out of there. When either of these slim pockets are empty, I'll use them for shims, knives, nails, screws, anything small and thin that I can just slide into those pockets, just for easy grab and go. Even if these metal loops are filled with something, there is still enough room in the outside loop for me to clip on any kind of handheld power tool. Drill, impact driver, small a grinder, a small saw, anything that has a clip can go onto those metal loops. I usually have my hammer on my left side because I'm left-handed, and then any kind of gun, anything that is gun shaped, so caulking gun, impact driver, drill, will go on my right side. I'm a little ambidextrous when it comes to using tools, so I switch between right side and left side, right-handed, left-handed tools. You can set it up to whichever hand dominance you have. And that's basically everything that I carry on this belt. I'm very sort of minimalist. I don't carry a lot of things, mostly because I don't like all of the weight being on my hips. So if I don't have to wear a million things, I won't have to. I've been working with this 4-pocket setup for like 2 months now, and it's been great. So that is, that's my whole tool belt setup. So hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next one.